Hey guys, I wanted to talk a little bit more about the chickens. One of the things I wanted to mention that I forgot in the earlier video is that chicken eggs, because they're fresh eggs, they don't have to be refrigerated. Now, once they go in the refrigerator, they have to stay refrigerated. But when they come out of the chicken, as long as they're not refrigerated, they can stay out. Okay. All right, we're outside now. We're gonna take a closer look at these chickens. Basically, when you look at chickens, basically think of T-Rexes. Okay, these are the descendants of the Tyrannosaurus Rex. They have the same hip structure, and they will absolutely eat anything that won't eat them. Okay. Now, one of the things I wanted to mention is, I was talking about the eggs. Like I said, that the eggs do not need to be refrigerated, which makes them very useful because in the summertime, the 100 or so chickens I have and ducks, they will typically lay an average of 30 to 40 eggs per day, and that's way more eggs than I can eat. Okay, but the good thing about that is that since they don't need to be refrigerated, I can store them. So in November, before we get into the cold season, what I will do is I'll start storing the eggs in buckets, and I'll put them in the basement. And and because the eggs will basically stay good for about almost 3 months, sometimes even 4 months, without refrigeration. So even though the egg production through the wintertime drops, if going into the fall you're able to stockpile eggs, that will give you an advantage as you're going into the winter months. All right, so that's something important to keep in mind as far as your chicken preparation. Now, if you decide to get into chickens, first of all, like I said, I grew up in the city, so this is something I got into, many years after I got into the guns. And you want to build your own chicken coop, and basically what you want is about, one chicken gets about 2 square feet. That includes the height and the depth. That'll allow them to stay warm, through the winter. And I don't provide any heat in the coop throughout the winter. Okay, the chickens, just like other birds that live out in nature, they are most breeds of chicken are well suited to to survive the winter without a heat lamp. Okay, now when they're chicks, they need heat source until they get their feathers. But once they get their feathers in, they don't need any heat source. Okay, so that's a good thing. They can survive through like -4 degrees, as long as they have a coop to go into. And basically each chicken is like a 100-watt bulb, so they generate heat within themselves, and they stay pretty warm like that. Okay, the next thing I wanted to talk about is breeding chickens. Okay, all these chickens have been pretty much bought from Tractor Supply. If you buy them online, you'll pay something like $3 a chick, plus shipping. If you buy them from the feed stores, they'll try to charge the same thing, $3 a chick. But if you wait them out a little bit, what happens is the people that are in the feed store, they really get tired of cleaning the chickens and cleaning their, the areas where they are. So they really want to get rid of them as fast as possible. So basically, what will usually happen is I'll wait them out, and I'll usually get them for 50 cents a bird. Okay, so if you're patient like that, you can get really cheap. That's how I was able to buy. At one point last summer, I had 150 birds. I ate a bunch of them. A few of them died off or got eaten by foxes. That's the other thing. You have to fence off your area, and you also have to run a skirt. Like in addition, there's a little rooster trying to fight with me. Look at that little sucker. You need to run run a fence around your perimeter, but also run a fence underneath the perimeter, because basically foxes will try and dig underneath it. So you want to have, you don't want the foxes to be able to dig underneath it. Trying to see if there's a spot here where I can actually show you that. Like if you look at the bottom of the fence here, you see how I have the wood, planks of wood, but if you look under here, I also have wire that's actually laid flat, and it goes all around the outside. so the foxes can't get in. Now, the other thing I want to mention is that because these, all these chickens basically came from a, from a factory, more or less. They incubate the eggs, and they've been doing this for many generations. There's the rooster side here. I can keep all the roosters separate. Okay. Because these chicks have been breeding like this for generations, a lot of them have basically forgotten how to raise their own young. Okay, so what'll happen is a lot of the hens, after they lay the eggs, they'll crack them and they'll eat them. Okay, so basically, if you got 20 hens, maybe 2 of them will actually sit on the eggs and hatch them out and give you chickens. Okay, and then out of those 2, maybe one won't try and eat them, kill them after they actually hatch out. Okay, so that's basically human intervention for you. I call it de-evolution. So that's one thing to be aware of. You need another reason why you need a lot of chickens is after the end of the world, you need to be able to make more chickens. So if you only have like 20 or so chickens, there's a good chance that you will not be able to get them to hatch you out more chicks and grow, continue your flock. So you need something like 100 chickens. Because out of the 100, maybe you'll get 5 or so that will actually make little baby chicks, and then from that point forward, after a couple of generations, because those chicks will kind of have it in their genes, and they'll keep making chicks going forward. But so those are some afterthoughts from that first video I did that I thought you guys should know. And if you guys got any questions, by all means, let me know. I'll talk to you guys next time.